Hi, Ivan. I think all the guests are here, so we can start now. Yeah.
All right, shall we start? You guys ready? Okay. You want to do a quick mic test? No? Okay, cool. Yo, what's good, everybody? This is Evan. I'll be hosting today's session because Cheryl is on the plane right now, so I'll stand in for her today. Welcome to CoinW Crypto Market Insight, episode 65. Today, we got some stellar guests ready to share their opinions on the market trends. And as the host of today, I will be leading us through a thought provoking conversation that promises to be both informative and engaging. So, whether you are new or a crypto OG, just grab a coffee, sit back, relax, and join us for an enlightening discussion on this week's market performance, trends, and hotspots. And also, the live session is broadcasting on CoinW live channel and our YouTube channel. So just feel free to leave your comments, your opinions, and your question down below. We'll pick up some to answer. All right, first thing first. Shout out to our experts joining today. We got Dylan, Tammy, Joseph, and Jay in the house. Thanks for being here, guys. Next, we would like you guys to share your market insight on Bitcoin, ETH, and coins you want to talk about. Dylan, want to go first? Dylan?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Yeah, definitely, I'll go first. Let me share my screen. It's been quite an intense week, so let's chat about it. All right, here we go. All right, so if we look at Bitcoin, let's have a look at the daily, and I want to just point out that the last 24 hours to 48 hours have been really intense, with the whole tariff news and Trump posting a tweet, saying that buy the dip, and then 4 hours later, he pauses, he puts a ban on tariffs for 90 days. So it's been quite a wild past 24 hours, and you can see that on the chart, right? You can see Bitcoin did come down, and then we had quite a big push, this morning, and you can see that was because Trump did impose the pause on tariffs for 90 days. So yeah, so it's just been a lot of choppy and a bit of insider trading, I think, is what's happening at the White House. So, yeah, so it's been quite hard to trade the market. But this is the key level I'm looking at right now for Bitcoin. So we have this previous high, which is that previous day high at 84,700. And then we have the low at 74,600. And this key level here at 81,200 is going to be my key level, guys. It's going to be my key level for the day. As if price can close below this level on the 30-minute time frame, I will be looking for sells for Bitcoin back into this imbalance over here. Potentially, there's quite a bit of a gap, but I'm looking for potential dip for Bitcoin back into this zone over here. So I'm not too sure how far down it will go. You can use the Fibonacci to see potential levels that you're looking at, but you're looking at like 79.5 and potentially 78.5 as well. So if Bitcoin does break below this previous high, I will look for sells. But you can see right now it is holding this level. So potentially it can get a bounce, but it is looking a little bit weak right now. So I will be monitoring this zone for Bitcoin right now. So nothing's really changed for Bitcoin. If you look on Twitter and everything, you'll probably see a lot of KOLs and influencers speak about this trend line for Bitcoin over here on the daily time frame. So this trend line, you can perfect it however you want, but essentially Bitcoin is still making lower lows and lower highs, right? It's really evident on the chart. So only until Bitcoin essentially breaks this high, like 87,000, like 600, that is when I'm only really going to start flipping bullish on Bitcoin, right? Because that's your previous high that had that push down, right? So I want to see Bitcoin start getting above this point in order for Bitcoin to start hitting the 100Ks again, 100K level again. So yeah, until then, it's still bearish, guys. Market structure here is still bearish on the daily time frame. So interesting. So that's my thought on Bitcoin. I do have a thought on Ethereum. Let me jump through Ethereum quickly. I was looking for a sell today. Actually, it's been super choppy for ETH, but let's have a look at the chart here. So yeah, let me just remove all of this. Have a look at ETH. Check out this top wick that happened just now, and that was just before news, I think. Just before news came out, there was news that came out right over here, and it was CPI. That was actually 30 minutes ago. And the news is actually bullish for crypto, but we all know that it's not really correlated to the dollar anymore. So we just trade what we see on the charts, and you can see ETH has just been super choppy today. It's been impossible to get an entry for ETH. I did take a short and took profit at like 1580 today, because that is like your local support. But I do think that ETH can potentially come down lower to these zones over here, guys. This is where I'd be looking potentially to long ETH within these areas down here. You can see we just had a massive top wick here, so most of the sell side liquidity has been taken out. So potentially we just drop down from here and potentially look for longs a little bit later. So yeah, it's interesting because right now the markets, I don't know, it's not looking good still. Although we did got that bounce from Trump's little tweet and pause on tariffs, I just don't think that it's going to sustain us back to like 1800 here for Ethereum. So just watch out. Potentially we might drop here into these zones over here, and then you should look at potentially looking for a reaction at one of these levels, and then looking for a long for ETH at that level. Okay, so that's my thought on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think I've just chatted for quite a bit here, but one last thing is I want to chat about USDT dominance. And honestly, guys, the reason why I think I chat about this chart so much is because I literally use it when I trade. So basically, what I'll do is I'll have my monitor on, and I'll have USDT dominance on the one side, and then I'll have my my Bitcoin or my Ethereum or my Litecoin or my Solana chart, whatever coin I'm trading, and I'll have that on the right hand side, and I would use it in correlation, right? Because it's similar to how the dollar works with gold, right? So you can kind of use the dollar and gold, inversely proportionally. So I kind of use that the USDT dominance with crypto. So essentially, USDT dominance is still in an uptrend, which means in order for crypto to continue going higher, we need USDT dominance to start losing strength, right? Because that means that people are taking their money and putting it into crypto. When USDT dominance goes up, it means people are withdrawing their profits or putting it into USDT, right? So when this comes down, Bitcoin goes up and crypto tends to go up, right? So basically, right now, USDT dominance, it's still holding this previous low that had that push up. So all I'm waiting for is a break of this trend here, and then I go mega bullish on crypto, right? But until then, it's still bearish for crypto. Until, for me, USDT dominance needs to close like below this previous low over here at 5.32. When USDT dominance closes below there, then I think altcoins and everything will start to rip, and we'll get that push. But until then, guys, it's not looking great. So yeah, watch this chart. Put this trend line in here just to monitor USDT dominance on the daily time frame. I suggest you guys just to chuck that in. It'll definitely help you understand where we're going to see those big gains for crypto. But yeah, I appreciate listening. Thank you so much. And yeah.
All right, thanks for sharing. That's pretty valuable and helpful. Thanks, Dylan. And let's
No
move
worries.
on to our next guest, Tammy. Tammy, you here?
Hi guys, sorry, I was still on mute. So like Dylan said, there's been a lot that's been happening. And I'm also just going to share my perspective of it. So yes, we had Donald Trump saying on the 2nd of April, basically announcing reciprocal tariffs. And we have seen a lot of volatility, especially in, well, crypto and stocks, so risk assets. However, I think, in my opinion, especially for Bitcoin, I mean, it did break below 76,000 temporarily. But if we look at how it's performed, it's still really, really been performing well, especially against the altcoin counterparts. So I'm just going to quickly, before I share my screen, so just a few things to note. We've still got, I mean, we've had a 6.77 increase. And I think to me, this shows just how important those threats of tariffs are on the economic environment. So I think that's definitely what I'm watching. Ethereum and the inflation data was also well, slightly more positive than expected. But we need to also understand that those tariffs have only recently been implemented, even the ones on aluminium and steel. So I think with regards to Trump, he's done this before where he says one thing and then he changes. So I think I'm still very skeptical, especially about the economic outlook. But for Bitcoin, I think it might be positive because, well, especially in the longer term, especially if people are trying to move away from the dollar. But then again, the fact that we've got strategic reserves could also pose a threat. So with returns, I'm just going to share my screen quick. Just see. Okay, there we go. So, I mean, with regards to Bitcoin, we do see prices, as I said, up about 6.10%. And if we look on the right-hand side, though, we're now starting to see a lot more red on the screen. However, that sentiment, the fact that when we got a temporary pause, the crypto market increased so much. I think there's still a lot of positivity that can come through, especially if we get negotiations on tariffs and so forth.
All right, thank you so much, Tammy. Now let's hear from Joseph.
All right.
Joseph.
Thank you so much, guys. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, hello. We can hear you.
Yep. All right. So quickly, let me just share my screen, and so good to be here. All right. The market has actually been, you know, treating us kind of. All right. So I'm very confident that with what is going on, a lot of people have actually been trying to, you know, manage their portfolio with the best form of risk management, so to say. Okay, so today, I don't know if you can see my screen. I have actually been looking into the Ethereum, all right? And a lot has been going on, like my colleagues just said, regarding the tariff, suspension for the meantime and all of that, okay? It has actually caused the whole market wave to be, unstable and the likes. All right. So, but meanwhile, before now, I had already had some projection, especially for Ethereum. All right. As you can see, after we broke this retested support, the market came to this immediate order block right here. All right. And as you can see, this is on the weekly time frame. I actually was thinking that the body of the candle was going to break probably fully outside this order block. All right, probably I would have been, aiming for a longer sell. But from what we're seeing, the week is not out completely yet. But I'll be waiting to see what the candle here will literally close at the end of the week. But if we go down on the daily time frame, you would see that I've been able to get some shorts during the whole distance. Now, the basic trade strategy right here. Sorry, let me zoom in. All right, we had an accumulation box around here, so we got some sort of manipulation to the upside. So that gave me a hint that okay, the distributions is going to be take a longer time because I was expecting a whole 5 full wavelength. That's the Elliott wavelength. All right. So basically, I was getting in on some few shots for Ethereum, and it has actually been quite some good this thing. Okay. So now that we tapped into this the demand zone at 1600, right? 1600. I am expecting the weekly to close. All right. If the weekly close with full body of the candle, then I'm expecting to go full time or for at least a little while short on Ethereum. All right. But if it closes as an indecision candle, probably a doji kind of, right? Then we should be waiting for probably a small rejection, and that's why I have this buy order right here. All right, I have this buy order right here. Okay, if possibly it drops to this swing low. This is the last swing low on the weekly. Okay, let me drop it. This is the swing low right here on the weekly. So probably I'll be looking to buy the market. That's from here. If it's tough, that's for Ethereum. But for BTC, all right, it has actually been quite interesting journey. Okay, now yesterday before the whole push in the news effect in the market, I'd actually had some I caught this buy. Let me go to the one yesterday. All right, and it's just a basic trading principle, right? Now what we had here was a double bottom. Okay, now we had a good double bottom, which is a rejection setup here. All right, so this is a double bottom, and the market didn't just stop there. The market retested this medium inline rejection the first time, the second time. So when I got in on the second time, I just knew that the market probably might spike up from that region, all right, taking this high at 80K. All right, so that was what happened. This high at 80K has been taken, though I am not so much confident that this high might hold a lot, because for now, I'm personally expecting the market to take this major high at 84K. Yeah, so when that high is taken, then I will be waiting for probably buy entry at this level. But for now, I'm still positive that the market is still going to sell. Yes, the market is going to sell. I'm expecting the market to push up probably to this higher side and maybe take any of these sell order block, then probably sell to the downside. I still have my long-term trade right at 70K. That's my long-term trade at 70K, hoping to get that in. All right, so that's that for Bitcoin as of the moment. And I've been trading XRP also. All right, so XRP has actually formed a very major flag on the daily. All right, you can see the flag, the length of the flag right here. All right, so all this that is ranging for me right here is more like the inside of the flag. All right, so the swing low for the flag at 1.5 thereabout has not been taken. So if the swing low is violated, probably I would say that that's the low here. All right, just hold on a bit. Okay, that's the low here at 1.56 thereabout. Okay, if this low here is violated, and you can see that we have an FVG right on that low. If it is violated, probably we might be selling XRP down. But if it holds, I'm expecting it to probably reject and break this high at 2.9, probably, yeah. And then we'll just get some entry for a long position. But for now, I'm still positive that since the Bitcoin dominance is still ranging and is still pushing there, I expect the market to still drop on a very long time. Okay, and I also traded Phil. All right, I don't know, this has become one of my favorite pair. I caught some good buy. I tweeted it yesterday. I caught some good buy. I think got some bucks out of there. Okay, like I earlier said, it's just the same basic principle. We got a range right here. All right, we got a range here, and we got the market actually manipulated to the upside. That's if you look at it on the daily level. So this gave us an opportunity to keep shorting the market. All right, so all I did was to get some good entries right here. So still be riding. Okay, now you can see the market have been creating series of higher low and lower low, right? So now, so what has happened now is that this FVG right here has been violated. All right, right here has been violated. So I'm still watching. Just hold on a bit. Let me zoom in on this. All right, I'm still watching to see how the week ends. Now, this week is going to give a major priority to what the market intends to do in the coming week. So, how the week ends matters a whole lot. Like the spike that happened yesterday, literally, got a little bit above the space, but I was expecting it to hold up for probably a full body of the candle. All right, the full body of the candle. That's the spike that happened a couple of days. Yeah, so it didn't hold. It literally dropped back into the zone. So for now, I'm positive that, and if you check very well, we are having some sort of falling wedge right here. All right, some kind of falling wedge right here. If you check very well, so I'm still positive that the market might push a little bit to the upside. Then we might have the major crash based on what BTC is going to do in the coming days. All right, if possible, the market speculation goes as it ought to go. All right, so that's from my end. I've actually limited my pairs just to these 4 pairs for now until probably I get the market to this zone. And for me, on the long-term level, if BTC end up getting down to 70K, majorly 69K, right? Get some good entry. Going to be going in long on major memes token, right? Because I'm expecting from here the market should rally up above, because it's literally more than 60% of what the market has done, the high on the all-time high on the last push to the upside, right? So basically, that is that from my end. Thank you so much, guys, for having me.
Thank you so much, Joseph. That's so comprehensive. Thank you so much. And next, let's welcome Jay.
Yeah, I think Jay said he's kind of engaged and it's probably not in the place he can talk yet. So I think we've got to cover for him. Yeah.
All right, cool. Next, all right, please pay attention. Miles, can you share the screen? I think we are going to move to the next part.
Yeah, I will share it.
All right. All right, fam. Get ready for an exciting CoinW live stream where you'll have the chance to win from a massive 25K USDT prize pool. Simply tune in, engage, and claim your share of the rewards. If you are watching on X or YouTube, you could click the link down below in the comment to check out the details. If you watch on CoinW app, you could click the details on the live stream page. Let's share the prize pool, guys. You don't want to miss it. And now I would like to dive into the next part. We have collected some questions and we could discuss them. The first question is, tariff seems like a traditional finance issue. So why is crypto reacting so sharply? Are investors overreacting, or have we underestimated the true influence of macroeconomic policy on the crypto market? Joseph, you want to go first?
Yeah, now the thing is, we are not undermining the influence of microeconomy in the market. Yeah, so but a lot of investors are very skeptical when we are having, like, let me use the word, not confirmed, like a trade war within individual countries of different various. You understand, especially with the US. You understand. Now, one thing we must realize is that the market, we have investors bringing in money into the market, and basically there's no business individual that is in the market to make losses. So when you have trade policies and tariff especially, and it's not in favor of what is happening in an economy, a lot of individuals will be very skeptical. All right, and that's the reason, if you check the dominance charts, all right, it has not broken below, because a lot of people are converting major assets into USDT or probably gold. And that is why in some cases when BTC is dumping, you see gold pumping. The gold market is it's going, because people are converting their assets to probably some sort of stable source of commodities or of stock or whatever, you understand, just to maintain, not falling into losses. So that's what the major institutions do and major traders. So we are not literally undermining the power of economics, but we are playing smart. You understand? I think that's one of the reasons why the strategy I trade most of the time is the smart money concept. You get, so you need to think like, a trader. You need to think like someone that is coming into the market to leverage every opportunity. So major, news affects the market. It cannot be underestimated. So every trader is literally playing smart just to stay profitable. I think that's just what's happening here.
Nice, nice. I agree with you, man. And Time, you wanna share your points? Or Dylan?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so regarding the tariff news, I mean, especially, I think what FX Joe did cover most of the points that I was gonna say. But just regarding like the current stance on the tariffs, I do think that, you know, long term for like the economy for the US, it will obviously um, be a good thing. But and for crypto, I do think it will be a good thing in long term. But I just think the way that Trump, how they've done it is just wrong in terms of, affecting the prices. I do think that there could have been a better way of how they've, you know, structured the news to people, or, I don't know how they normally do it, but just the way they've done it was really unprofessional. And I just think you can see it on the markets, right? It's just a whole bunch of liquidations left, right, and center. So I just think for long term, yeah, it will be fine. Short term, you can see it on the charts. I mean, if you look at the Nasdaq as well, it dumps 8% within 2 days, which is the longest. I mean, which was the biggest dump in like history, or something like that. So it's just been crazy. It's obviously short term, it's going to take an impact on the market, but long term, I do think that it should be fine.
All right, Tammy, you wanna say something? Or yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think also what we haven't mentioned is the fact that even though Trump has, it's those reciprocal tariffs that came into effect on Saturday, those are still in place. But what all he's done is said that countries with higher tariffs, well then 10%, the baseline ones, it's got that 90-day pause. However, the fact that China is now also has retaliated, and they've also said rare earth minerals, they're going to start cutting back because that's a key component of things like AI and tech. So we have seen that retaliation. Plus, they've now said, okay, they're putting the 84% tariff on US goods, and they've also said that with regards to films or filmmakers, they're going to start also reducing that. So we've still got a lot of risks. And even though there's tariffs now of like 10%, there's still those tariffs of 25% of aluminium and steel. So I think we also can't get too excited about the fact that there's the pause in higher tariffs, because the cost of importing is still going to go up dramatically. And I think the fact that Trump's saying, okay, manufacturing and production should just move to the US, companies don't necessarily have that capacity at the moment. Obviously, a lot of them have their plants and factories in China at the moment. So now to uproot and just to move across, I don't think that's necessarily a simple task. Also, what we've seen this week, well, basically, we also need to realize that, let me just see. I think China last year the US imported approximately $438.9 billion, from China. So I think, it is going to definitely impact the economy, especially in the longer term. We've also got bank earnings on Friday, tomorrow. So there's still a lot of risk rippling through markets. And for crypto, the fact that Michael Saylor also said that he might have to sell some of his holdings. I think that's if we see that contagion effect, and we do see like a pullback in prices and an increase in margin calls, we're obviously going to see further downside. So I agree, a lot is basically riding on the geopolitical risks at the moment. And I think even though we've got that 90-day pause, there's still a lot of volatility that's actually in play. And we've seen how the crypto market react to that. So that sentiment to me is still key. And those are also factors that I'm going to be watching, especially in the next few weeks.
All right, thanks, Tam. And we got a quick question. Do we expect Bitcoin has a quick comeback rally back to 90K? What do you guys think? Joseph?
All right. Regarding that, for now, personally, I don't think Bitcoin is going to rally up to 90K, because that's literally breaking the high at 88. I don't think that if Bitcoin rally and breaks that level, then probably the market is already going to aim up for a longer, in fact, breaking the whole structure and going for a longer buy. You understand? For me, I'm anticipating maximum 86 there, about 85, 86. Then I'm expecting it to dump down to 70K. That is my speculation, though, right? Dump down to 70K, probably 69 at most, all right? Activating the trade I literally shared a couple of minutes ago, all right? So basically, that's what I am seeing in the market, because as of now, there's literally no, anything indicating that the market is going to turn upward and reversing back to 70K for now. I'm not seeing anything like that. Probably in the coming week, there might be fundamentals or something, because, like we are saying now, any news can come out now and the market will start jumping. And we just going to keep our finger crossed. Keep yourself up to date with what is going on regarding the news. All right. I think that's just my take on that.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I think we answered that question. And the second question is, in the face of the market downturn, what actions did you guys do? And what suggestions can you give to investors about how they can deal with and navigate the risks? Tam, you want to talk a little bit?
I think, well, this is also a difficult one, but we've been saying, for a long time, and I think this is all of us have been saying or reiterating the importance of risk management. So for me, technical levels do provide key, entry and exit points, and then we can work from there basically for our stops and our limits and adjusting our positions from there. So, for example, I'll just share my screen at the moment. Okay, here we go. So here I'm looking at the Bitcoin USDT, so the futures. And while over here we can see that prices are still positive today, there has been a mild decrease in prices, but we can't underestimate the importance of the rallies as well. So, I mean, if we look here, it wasn't a very long period of time that we actually saw that surge in prices. And especially the surge that we actually got from Trump's election. So if we look at the January high to the low that we had the other day at 74,461, that is a whole, like it's 32.3% that's actually, been wiped out, or that we've seen that reduction in prices. But however, we can't underestimate, or we can't ignore the fact that last year alone, and we've already been seeing this surge in prices for the past few years, but last year alone, crypto still added, or Bitcoin alone added 123%. And a lot of that was because of Trump coming back in power. So even though we have seen that retracement, we need to realize that last year, when prices or Bitcoin initially tried to break through the 70,000 handle, this was also around the March top. And that's still just below the low that we saw the other day. So prices have still been supported. Ethereum and altcoins, even though we're getting that, that resurgence in sentiment, I think they're facing additional pressure. But for example, if we're looking at position management and so forth, I think the fact that we've got the downward trend line, I agree that is still an important indicator that the trend is down. But we also see, if we just put that Fibonacci, and this was, if I'm not mistaken, that was the 2024 September low, and this is the 2025 high. And if we look at Fibonacci levels, just from there, I think there are some key zones. For example, the 61.8% retracement is, pretty much coincides of that same level, or that same low that we saw this week. So I think there's definitely other indications that we can get from technicals. For example, this high here, which is trendline resistance, could also be a short-term. If you were taking a short, which is also, we have to look at shorter time frames, we could always say, okay, this trend line now is resistance, or this is a key resistance level. Same as if we're going short, we can say, okay, this support line has been retested a couple of times, so we may want to just put that as our short-term target. And if there's a break, or you could use a trailing stop, a take profit, but you can also adjust that according to how we see markets. So if we wanted to take a short-term position to the downside, I would say that this would be my take profit level. And towards the upside, even if we break above the today's high, we've still got those moving averages also providing additional resistance. So my maximum at the moment is around about 88,000. So if we see a break of that, then 90,000 is in play, but we haven't seen that follow through for a few days now, or a few weeks. So I think we would still need to break a few key levels in order to get that resurgence of bullish momentum. And I just don't think we're currently in the environment to actually do that. But that's just my opinion. So I think for me, tighter risk management is more important, especially in volatile periods. So that's how I think we should manage our risk.
All right, thanks, Tam. I agree with you. And Joseph, do you want to add something more? Oh, Jay is back in the place. All right. Oh. Okay, Joseph, you want to add something more?
Yeah, time has actually said quite a lot. All right, I would want to say that the other thing we could also do in order to stay afloat in this period is, for major investors, traders, or at what even retail traders. All right, um, I would say you should, number one, reduce your focus this period. All right. Now, because if you're trying to catch a whole lot of opportunity, especially retail traders, you might be heading off major losses, except you are very, very keen regarding risk management, like Thames just said. All right. So reduce your focus. I literally used to trade above 10 pairs. But as of now, I'm literally considering only, in fact, BTC and XRP majorly. The other two is just for intraday trading. All right. Then another thing I would say is please, as much as possible, it's very good that you keep up to date with the happenings in the economic market. All right. So you would want to stay very, very up to date with what is happening in the financial market so that it will literally affect your decisions in the market. All right. Now, I had a friend that was selling Bitcoin yesterday for quite some time now. But when I noticed that there was a rejection at the level I was about to take the buy, I just put a call through to him and tell him, look at what's going on. The tariff has been paused and all of that. And, coinciding with my TA, this is going to be like some kind of buy. And he literally has to close his sell position and go in on the buy. You understand? And if he had held, probably he would have been liquidated yesterday. So all I'm saying in essence is it's very good and positive for you to to keep yourself abreast with the what's going in the market so that it will literally pioneer your decisions in the coming days. I think that's that for now.
All right, nice, nice. Thanks, Joseph. And Jay, you want to share your market insight on Bitcoin and ETH, or which ones
Yeah.
you want to talk about?
All right, guys. I'm good. I'm back to my studio. Sorry about the technical issue, guys. I mean, like, oh my god. All right, all right. All good now. Give me a sec. Share screen. All right, here we go. So I'm not gonna share much today. So just fundamentals. I don't take much trade, just scalping because I know the chart is so fucked up right now. I mean, it's really fucked up. But let's start from this chart. This is the moon phase chart. So from the March, sorry, April in here, I've been telling you guys. I mean, like we got two scenario, we got scenario 2 and scenario 1, which is the one is failed. It's fair right now. So at that time, 2 weeks ago, before I took my holiday, it went down with the new moon phase. So this is during my holiday. New moon phase, 1 2 up, cannot break the higher low, which sorry, cannot break the higher high of this, and cannot take the scenario 1, which is around 95, and then double top in here, coming back down. So yeah, this is what happened. But the that was last month, and this month we got the full moon is on Saturday, but I'm not gonna count Saturday because I counted this as a forex or stock chart. So there is no Saturday and or no Sunday. So the actual reversal is going to happen on Monday, and I'm going to say we might gonna have another higher low, and I still believe we still can go retest the scenario 2, which is around 77, sorry, 87 and 89. Why? I will tell you guys later. But right now I'm still a little bit kind of like bullish, short term, but just short term bullish, short term bullish. But if Bitcoin going to another lower low, I think it still can, maybe just a week, but to close below here is kind of hard right now. So maybe just take this liquidity below here, maybe just like a liquid hand or liquid grabs around here. That's what I thought. Yeah, like this. If there's another lower low, which is I'm expecting there's another lower low, which is not now. I'm expecting this around, yeah, maybe after the full moon until the new moon, which is the new moon is going to happen around Saturday, on 26th of Saturday. All right. So it's still long. It's still long. Let's talk about the full moon first. And the full moon is my target is going to be 87, 89. Why? Because on the chart in here, just 1 hour, just a simple 1 hour. All right, we got double bought. We got bull fact, just simple bull fact. And if we see where is the double bought targeting, 87.88, which is around here, this factor candle. So I'm expecting here. And if we match with the CME, because I'm using CME for my moon chart, look at, we still got some gaps around here. We still got some gaps to fill. And when there is a gap, there is a liquidity inside. So gaps going to be filled, but not now, maybe next week. So still like a little bit relief bounce. And after that, I'm still expect there's another gonna bloody for out for us, because as I told you guys a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I still expecting it to go below like 1,005, 1,002, or maybe 1,000, or maybe like 800 or 300. I'm not gonna say it, guys. I'm not gonna say it. Fuck that. But so this is the fundamental, and this is the wagyu for today. Why I talk about Chinese and US dollar, because if you guys can hear, I will zoom out. Why? I will zoom out. Why? This is when the COVID crash happened. Yes. All right. So this is us now. This is us now. So as you guys know, if you guys don't know, like US and stock, sorry, the XY, which is like the US index, is negative correlative with the stock market and Bitcoin, but Chinese yuan is a positive correlative in between stock market and crypto. So a simple talk, if somehow Chinese yuan can pump, so does crypto, so does stock market, so does SPY, you name it, Nasdaq, Nvidia, everything is going to pump. So if you can see here, this is our bottom. This is the bottom, and we got this bottom like last September of 2023, and this is the lowest. This is the lowest now, and I'm expecting this thing going to pump, but it's not gonna like pump right away. Nah, it's not. This is not. It's not gonna happen, but slowly grinding after we break this down sloping trend line and complete the falling wedge. All right, when that happens, bam. We still, that's why I still believe, guys, there's gonna be there's gonna be alt season, there's gonna be a rally, Bitcoin going to over 100K. I still believe that. So if you guys like don't want to, DCA your ads, you're gonna missing out, because I'm only gonna say it, guys. This is your window to buy between this and this, and until 15. I cannot tell you why right now, but when this thing happen, so this is your window to buy. It might go deep, it might just sideways. I don't know. I'm not God. I'm not clairvoyant, but it might go. Bitcoin might hold, but some out still can see a lower low. But this is your window. After this, if you ask me, like, am I too late to buy? Fuck off, guys. Fuck off. I'm not gonna tell you to buy. But right now, this is your last chance, guys. Your last chance. I mean, like this week we might see another lower low or just flat. I don't know, but this is your last chance for just until May of 15. All right, guys, because with the tariff is postponed right now for 90 days. This is quite good news, but I still don't know. China and US still gonna war, like they're gonna increase, they're gonna get, but I think China is gonna win it, guys. If China win it, this thing going, this thing gonna pump. So that's why you use your brain, guys. Who's gonna win, China or US? So me, I'm gonna pick China, man. Trump is too fucked up, man. We're not gonna do Trump. So yeah, this is me for today, guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay. That's pretty interesting. And all right, I think we have covered everything today. Thank you all for joining us today. I bet today's live stream is very important for us under this market. And be sure to keep an eye on CoinW and our guests as well. Don't forget to follow our Twitter account. We'll continue to share valuable insights about the crypto market. Stay safe and always do your own research. Good luck, fam. CoinW Crypto Market Insight. See you next time. Bye.
See you guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
See you.